everyone. Hope you're all keeping well out there. Hi David. Hi Esther. Hi Richard. Hi Andrani. Hope you're all doing well. Seems like yonks, doesn't it? Since the last Kanikapila, it's just like, yeah, just feels like ages ago. I guess so much has happened in the world, hasn't it? It's I was just sharing in the chat how kind of prophetic some of the songs were, which is really tragic for the events of this week with the passing of the Queen and everything. Yeah, sorry, Esther. I think it's really important to see the humour in the darkness anyway. So yeah, I thought maybe I should be leaving Common People out this week, but then I read a review of Common People that, with one of the song critiques that I was looking at, that said how violently British it was. So I thought, well, maybe that's good. We'll be violently British tonight, so in honour of the Queen. So hope you're all keeping well. It always buffers a bit at the start, so hopefully it will catch up in just a moment. Lots and lots to tell you about. Hasn't it been just an absolutely strange week? It feels like every week I'm saying this, but obviously being particularly strange and unusual in the UK this week. But let's concentrate on some positive stuff. So first of all, just wanted to tell you ever so quickly about my new YouTube series that I've got going on. Some of you will have already seen these. I've decided to try and do a daily video. So it's going to be every single day of the week. But they're very, very simple 1 minute videos. Just little tips such as changing from G to E minor using your little pinky. Things like that. Just very, very simple things that you can do to really kind of really bring your playing out. So those are going to be every day on my YouTube channel. So it's worth subscribing if you can, so you don't miss any of those. I know you get all these people, don't you, saying subscribe all the time and whatnot, but it really does help you because it helps see when things are coming up. Hey Lorraine, look. Lorraine and Bob made me this brilliant card I told you about the other week. I keep this on my desk. I love it so much, Lorraine. So just so you know, it's really precious to me. So thank you. So have a look at that. So a couple of other things I wanted to mention. One really, really exciting. And maybe I'll drop some little things of this as we go in, because I don't want to bore everyone too much with going on about all the stuff we have happening. But next June, if you can be in the UK, we're going to be holding a very, very special ukulele retreat at this beautiful place called Speech House, which is right in the middle of the Forest of Dean, which is where the Uke Room is based. Really, really beautiful place. And we're getting 6 tutors, some brilliant ukulele tutors. This is a photo from the retreat a few years back where we climbed up the hill. We're going to get 6 tutors from all around the world to come and teach. We've confirmed our UK ones already. We've got the brilliant Samuel, who's going to be teaching classical ukulele. We've got Percy, who's going to be teaching country and old time. And we've got Phil, who's going to be doing the blues and song progressions. And we've got some really super exciting international artists coming that I'm just confirming at the moment. I can't tell you who it is yet, but as soon as they give me the green light, it's going to be super exciting. So tickets go on sale officially this Wednesday. I did make a Facebook announcement to to all my Facebook friends just to give them the heads up first, and I'm giving you guys the heads up now. So if you go to my website, which is down here, mattsteadukulele.com, there's all the details on there. Just click the retreat tab and you can find out all about it. It's going to be a whole weekend of heaps and heaps of fun. Hopefully loads of you guys will be able to come over for it. That would be really special. It would be really cool for me if you did. Hi Peter, hi Mick, hope you're doing well. So tonight we're going to be looking at some really simple chord progressions. In fact, the whole theme of tonight is 3-chord songs. Really simple 3-chord songs where we're playing the same 3 chords over and over again in different orders. So for tonight especially, if you can manage to not write in the chords and be really brave about it, see if you can remember these chords. It'll be a really good way to get you understanding how chord progressions work, but more importantly, playing by heart, which I think would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it? Couple of other small things. If anyone's feeling super generous, my donations tin is there. You can PayPal me there, and you can also buy me a virtual cup of coffee or virtual high five. All the links are in the description. A massive thank you to everyone that did. I actually did a Facebook post because I'm so behind in thanking everyone for their really kind donations, but it really keeps me going, and I really, really appreciate it. And so many people have been so kind that it's just brilliant. So thank you. And if you're not able to donate, that's totally cool as well. As I always say, this is weird times, isn't it? I was reading an article today about people not being able to afford to give their kids school meals, and it's just like, it's heartbreaking. How can we be one of the top 10 economies in the world and that's happening? So yeah, it's all cool. And the one last thing, and then I promise we'll start our first song. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Esther. So Esther's produced these really nice worksheets that we've got today. Depending on when you downloaded these, you might have my old hand scribbled ones, or you might have spotted we've got some nice ones that Esther put up to help us. So these are just to kind of pep it up a bit, make it look a bit nicer for you. So we've got some really lovely things on each sheet, and we've got some really cool and clear diagrams for some of the scales, such as the C major pentatonic. So massive thanks to Esther. She's doing this out of the kindness of her heart, just to help me out, because I never have time to make things look pretty, and it's nice to have things looking pretty, right? It's good. So let's, without further ado, have a look at our first song. So hopefully this one will cheer us all up if we are feeling gloomy about world events at the moment. This one uses 3 chords, and it's the most common chords that happen in any piece of music, and that is the 1, the 4 and the 5 chord. So all that means is we decide on a key. Let's go for C for this one to make it a simple start, okay? We decide on a key, and every key has 7 main chords, and those are the alphabet in order, with some sharps or flats depending which key you're in. No sharps and flats in the C, which makes it C major scale, which makes it easy. So in C it's C, D, E, F, G, A and B. And it turns out that some of those chords are played as majors and some of them minors. So we have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor and B diminished. That last one's always a bit weird. But the nice thing about the 1, 4, 5 progressions that come up in any key is they're all major. C major, not D, not E, F major and G. So this entire song is written in the key of C with just 3 chords, C, F and G. But still it sounds so cool, okay? So the 1 chord is going to be C. Now those chord boxes tell you how long to play each of these chords for. If I don't say otherwise, just presume this is common time, 4/4 timing. So each of those boxes would be 4 beats. Well, in the verses here, we've got chords, 2 chords in the box, so that must mean they're 2 chords each, right? And they are 2 beats each, sorry. So C, F, G, F. That's it for the verse. C, just play along with me. F, G, F, C, F, just 2 beats each, G, F, keep that going, C, F, G, F. Now I like to play this with straight 8s. That means I downstrum twice as many times as that. See if you can join me like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only counting to 4 because it's easier to count that way. But if you're worried about the timing, it would be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. See that? Yeah. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And we call them straight 8s because each of the strums that you're doing is an 1/8 of a measure, or an 8th note if we use the international one, so on and so forth. So that's your verses. The chorus is even easier than that. We just have the 5 chord, which is G, C, D, E, F, G, just like that. And we do that for a whole measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then a 4 chord, which is F. We do that 3 times. Here's the last one. And then we go back to the verses. And that's it. That's the whole of this song. In a minute, I'm going to show you a cool hammer-on chord technique, which is really fun. But just to get everyone playing, let's just play through it. The lyrics are on your sheets. If you haven't downloaded the sheets, you can just follow here and I'll sing for you. But if you want to sing along, you've got your lyric sheets that you can print out in the description. And this one's just going to go verse, chorus to get us started. Okay? Follow along with me after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, F, G, F, C, F. Keep that going. I used to think maybe you love me. Now, baby, I'm sure. I'm going to start that again because I went horribly wrong. See? We all go wrong sometimes. Sorry, everyone. What? I was trying to read the lyrics and I've got them too far away. My glasses aren't strong enough. I've got them now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See? Sorry, guys. F, G, F. Just keep that going. I used to think maybe you love me. Now, baby, I'm sure. Till the day when you knock on my door. Now every time I go to the mailbox, gotta hold myself down. 'Cause I just can't wait till you write me you're coming around. Here comes our chorus. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Okay, chorus after 4. I'm so sorry. G chord. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. And don't it feel good? Everyone got that? I've got it now. I used to think maybe you loved me, but now I know it's true. And I don't want to spend my whole life just waiting for you. Now I don't want you back for the weekend, not back for a day. No, no, no. I said, baby, I just want you back, and I want you to stay. I'll get the right chord this time. Hit a G. I'm walking on sunshine. There it is. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. And don't it feel good? Alright now. Don't it feel good? Whoa. And don't it feel good? Alright now. Don't it feel good? Just keep that going now, guys. Don't stop. I'm walking on done, everyone. I hope you played that better than me. I'm so sorry. I think my head was all over the place, so I'm gonna blame world events for that. I shouldn't really. No, I'm being daft. Isn't that a lovely song though? It just shows the power. 3 chords, just 3 chords, and I think that's a really good song. My wife heard me preparing these sheets, and she's like, "Why do you love Katrina and the Waves so much?" I'm always singing this one, or the one they won Eurovision with, and it's not the sort of band I normally listen to, but it just makes me feel good. That's all it is. And sometimes I think we can be way too snobby about music. I think if it feels good and it sounds good, it is good, right? Well, that's what I think about this song. It makes me feel good. And that's why I was swinging on my chair. By the way, you might see I'm a little bit higher tonight. I've been trying for weeks to see how I could get more of my ukulele in the shop. And then I realised, after owning this chair for about 2 years, that it has a button on it that makes me go up and down. Oh my goodness, crazy stuff. Right, there's one thing I wanted to show you on this that I do quite often, and I don't know if any of you picked it up. Particularly when I hit the F, I'll often do something that sounds a bit like this. Can you hear that? It's almost like a hammer-on for a chord. And it's something that you can do that adds a bit of kind of drama to your playing and also makes it flow really beautifully. But also, it's a quick cheat, because if you're struggling changing between chords quickly, it's a really good way to get to that chord a little bit behind the beat, but have it still sound really effective and lovely. And literally, all I'm doing is I'm hitting a C. Now, before I hit that F, I come down with my strum. Don't really over sweat whether you're on a down or an up. But as I hit that strum, I'm not on the chord. My fingers come down afterwards. Now, as I play that as a single chord on its own, you can't really hear it very much. But remember, as soon as we've done that, we're thickening it up with the rest of our strum. Hear that? Have a practice round with me. All I'm doing is just going to that F chord, half a bar late, and it sounds better than if I hammer it straight away. And it's called a chord hammer-on, and you see players do it all the time. It sounds really super effective. So, seeing as I mucked that one up terribly, let's do Walking on Sunshine one more time, and you can have a go at putting that chord hammer-on in. We've also got the C major pentatonic scale there, which Esther's neatly written out on a chord diagram, which is really handy for us. So the C pentatonic, if you want to go through it in terms of first position, that means down here, is an open C. That's just your second string with no fingers. D here at the 2nd fret. Open E. 3rd fret. Open A. And 3rd fret. It's quite an easy one to remember, because if we start from this C string, it's just off, 2, off, 3, off, 3. And you could just experiment. Just putting some notes together from that one. Remember this classic trick, which I've shown you guys loads of times now. We can also use the A minor pentatonic, which is the same thing, just in a different order, by playing off, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12 along the A string. You might think, well, how am I going to remember all that? Well, it's just your dots, isn't it? There's a dot, there's a dot, there's a dot, there's a dot. Sounds really effective. And there are some other dots as well on the E string if you want to do the same thing. The only thing with the E string is you've got to make sure you go over there to the 8th fret. You can't hit this one because it's a B, and that B note clashes with a C chord, and that's the reason we do a pentatonic scale. We take out the notes that clash with certain chords that come up in the key. So oh, thanks, Keylines. Hey, I love your amazing is it avatar? I can't think. The yeah, your picture. It's brilliant. I love that. Okay, let's try Walking on Sunshine one more time then. I'll try and get the chords right this time, and you can practice your chord hammer-ons. And let's have a couple of instrumental breaks. We'll just strum the chords to the verse and you can join in. If you aren't feeling brave enough to do a solo today, just keep strumming the verse chords with me, and you'll be able to play along with me. All right. So remember, we've got C, F, G, F. That's your verse, and also the end of the song. Just keep that going round, and that's it. Apart from the chorus, which is G and F. One more time. I used to think maybe you love me. Now baby I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day that you knock on my door. Now every time I go for the mailbox, gotta hold myself down. Till you write me you're coming around. Gee, this time I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, whoa, first, and don't it feel good? To end on. It's got to be the one chord, right? Well done, everyone. Well done. Told you, isn't that a cool song? 3 chords. The reason those chords work so well together is they're the most functional, I think, of all the chords. Unless you're writing in a minor key, I kind of think those minor keys are all about mood and kind of emotion. So the minors tend to kind of think, if you're a painter, those would be your browns and your blacks and everything. And your major chords are like your primary colours. But they serve an even more important function than that. And most of you that have been doing this for a while, you'll already know this. The one chord is the one we set out from, and it's the one that we always resolve to. It makes cadences or phrases feel finished. The 4 just provides us with a bit of change. In any song, whenever you hear that 4 chord, just gives you a little bit of change. Oh, aloha, Tim. Good to see you. I was in Oahu a few months ago, one of my absolute favourite places in the world. Totally amazing to see you. And then finally, that G chord, the 5 chord, that's our tension. Whenever we hear that, even if it's not a G7, it hangs in the air and it makes us want to go back to the 1 chord. So if you have that home chord, a change chord and resolution, that can take you on a journey anywhere, couldn't it? Home, bit of a change, home, bit of a change, tension, back home. And that's what songwriters realised very early, that we can use that 1-4-5 combination in various patterns to create some really, really cool songs. Now this next one is the one that's really prophetic, and it actually feels prophetic, not pathetic, hopefully. And it really feels a bit strange actually, because I chose this long before I knew anything about the Queen passing away, but it just feels really weird playing it now. But it's such a great song, so I hope you enjoy it. This is a song by Norman Greenbaum. We can do Spirit in the Sky, which is really cool. For some reason, they always play it at Wolves matches. I don't know why. It's a strange thing, isn't it? Well done, Indrani. Indrani did a bit of soloing. That's absolutely brilliant. That's the thing, isn't it? There's just, we can put little bits in here and there. And thanks for your lovely comments as well. I saw some beautiful comments coming on whilst I was playing there, and it means a lot, so thank you. Hi Andy, really good, thank you. Yeah, keeping all right, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well too. So there's quite a lot going on with this one, and I wanted to change keys for a bit. So my regular Kanikapilas gives you a chance to try something different. So now we're going to be in the key of G. The same principle still applies to what we've done tonight, but this time G will be our 1 chord, and then we can just count on on our hand like the alphabet. A, there's no H, is there? G, A, B, C will be the 4 chord now, and D will be the 5 chord, okay? So G, C and D are the 1-4-5 chords in the key of G. So just remember that, and that's all you need for this whole song, okay? So G's going to be our 1 chord, and we're going to, a lot of this song is just that 1 chord. If you look at the chord boxes here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 16 measures are all that 1 chord, and that makes us feel at home. Now this one has a swing feel, so I'm going to get you to strum the chords to the verse, but as you do, just give your strum a little bit of a swing feel. I always think when we swing it just feels slightly lazy, like our down strums stick in treacle, and then they come up a little bit quicker because they've got to catch up. If I didn't swing it, it'd sound like this. But with swing. And if you have trouble getting that swing feel, just count to 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and just make sure the numbers have a little bit more emphasis. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So let's try a verse then, and then I'll show you this cool intro part in just a second, but just so we can get the verses. So we have G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, then we have the 4 chord, that's C in the key of G, another one of those, back to the 1 chord, that's G, the 5 chord's D, that's just your 1, 2, 3 in the 2nd fret, and back to G. Let's try that all together, so G, another G, another G, Notice I'm doing the 2-finger trick. Back to G and D, back to G. Okay, that's your major chords for the verses, relatively straightforward, isn't it? And you'll be glad to know that the chords for the choruses are literally just the same. The only difference is at the end of each chorus, we do this really cool intro part. Now, this has got a couple of tricky chords in it. So if you struggle with this, don't sweat it. You can always just miss this bit out and join in with the strumming. You won't miss out on much. Okay, let's move that out of the way a sec. So for the intro and at the end of the choruses, what we do is we play G for 4. Then we do 2 more, 1, 2, and then we do this lovely chord slide. We go from a B flat. Now that's 3, 2, 1, 1. You can play it like that, or we can play it up here near this fret here. If you struggle with B flat, mostly it's because people try and keep it too straight like this. If you're doing this version, allow your arm to come out this way so that your fingers are at an angle. Can you see this one especially? It's not like this. It's more out here. That will allow you to reach over, okay, to hit that B flat. If you're doing a barred version, you can keep it a bit more straight, okay? And what we do is we hit that. That's a B flat. We go 2 frets high, gives us C. And then we go back to G again. And it will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, B flat, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just keep doing that, right? Now, the first time we do B flat to C. 1, 2. We do it again. The second time when we do it the opposite direction. We do G, C, B flat, G. We go up this time, and then this time we come down. Okay, just like that. And I think this is my fault, not Esther's. I think I put that we do 2 of each, but I think let's just do 1 of each. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, B flat, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We come back. And we do it again. We go up. And then this time we come back. Now, if you think that's ridiculous, I've come here to strum along and play some chords, I don't want anything that hard. Doesn't matter, that's totally cool. You can just strum a G. Just keep strumming a G and we'll hit there. And you can just keep that G going underneath. It won't sound too messy, it'll sound absolutely fine. You can join in the verses and the choruses, exactly the same. Now, I did notice when I watched back to the original version, in the chorus, that 5 chord, it comes in 2 beats later. So in the choruses, if we just go for the chords of the choruses, going up to the spirit in the sky, that's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. No, it's in the verse, try verse. Prepare yourself, you know it's a must. Gotta have a friend in Jesus. So you know that when you die, he's gonna recommend you to the spirit in the sky. So notice it's the other way around, sorry, my brain went kaput again. We hang on that D ever so slightly longer in the verses, that final D, before we go back to the 1. But just watch my fingers, you'll soon get an idea. It's relatively simple, this one. Now I'm going to jump straight into this with a version because I want to do a few songs tonight. And if you want to do a solo for this one, we're going to look at 2 scales ever so quickly. We're going to look at the E minor pentatonic scale. That just means we take our index finger. If you look at the diagram, let's put it up here and make it a bit bigger. Okay. So for the E minor pentatonic scale, we're going to go from the 4th fret here to the 7th fret, sorry. Then we're going to go from the 5th fret to the 7th on the E string and the 5th fret to the 7th on the A string. So in effect, from the C string, we're going 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. Okay. So that's your E minor pentatonic. The reason that sounds really lovely is all of the notes that make up the E minor pentatonic scale are the same as all of the notes that make up the G major scale. But because we tend to kind of focus around that E, it has more of a minory sound. And it works. It's got like a bit more of a grittiness about it, which I think goes really well with this song, especially when you consider that guitar. I mean, if you remember the original, it's really iconic, isn't it? It's really overdriven, so it's kind of crying out for this. But if you want to extend that out, or you want to do something different, you could do the G major pentatonic scale. Now that's a similar shape, but notice the first step is a smaller one. We go from G on the 7th fret to A on the 9th fret here. And we just keep that pattern going. This time we've got 7, 10, 7, 10, your dots. So 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. So you can think of that as an extension of the E minor pentatonic scale, or vice versa, or you can think of it as its own thing. If I was going to only use one of them, I would go for that minor pentatonic, because I think it just sounds nicer. Now there's one more thing I need to warn you about. When we go to the solo, we're going to do it in a specific place on this one rather than just jamming it. We're going to go to the solo after the second chorus. It's like after the second main part of singing, if you like. And the chords, if you just want to write them down, because this features a chord that's not in the key of G, an F. It should be an F sharp in the key of G. Don't worry about why. That's a whole rabbit hole, right? But when we finish the second verse, we're going to play G, F, G, C. We're just going to do that. G, F, G, C. And then you guys can have a little play about and see if you can come up with a rudimentary solo. It's great fun. Just give it a try. Just give it a try. I'll take the chords if you're not sure anyway. But otherwise, just follow me along. Chords are the same in that box. Okay, each box is 4. Let's give it a go. All right. I'm going to make this a bit bigger just so that, yeah, that should do it, shouldn't it? Okay. There's also a little note that I almost forgot about. If you want to make the chords a little bit more rock and roll, we can turn them into sus chords. To turn a G into a sus chord, all we need to do, and this is a terrible joke, but seeing as we're singing about him, it's God's favourite chord, G sus. I'm not religious, by the way, but I love people who are as well, so I love all of you, okay? So hopefully no one's offended by that terrible joke. Just putting your little finger there, and that gives it a feel. A bit of a rock and roll feel. So when you're strumming G, you can give this a go. It's quite sweet. When I do the C one, I turn it into a sus chord using the F note here. So I go. That's just the first fret of the E string. Okay, and that's it. This is a G sus4. And this is a C sus4. If you're not sure, I'm just going to strum them bog standard, all right? So it's up to you if you want to put that in or not. Okay. Hi, Sue, not to worry. It's all good. We're going to have a go at Spirit in the Sky now. Just follow the chords along. Don't worry about the weird chords to the intro. We'll just give it a go, okay? Let's give it a go. So, intro first. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 1, 2. G. Try it in reverse. C, B flat, G, B flat, C, same in reverse. Now a verse. When I die and they lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. When they lay me down to die, going up to the spirit in the sky. Going up to the spirit in the sky. let's hit a G to finish it off. Well done, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. That's good fun one, that, isn't it? It's all sorts of crazy stuff happening in that song. Maybe at the end, if we've got time, we'll come back to that. But I've got, I think we've got 5 songs tonight, and I want to get through a few. So got some quite unusual choices later. And honestly, isn't that spooky? I chose that. Gosh, when would that have been? Probably, yeah, Friday. No, maybe Thursday. So it's all gone in such a blur. I can't remember when we lost it now, but yeah, it's a weird prophetic thing to happen, wasn't it? So strange. Right, let's go with something completely crazy. I think I'm going to skip Bad Moon Rising and come to that for a bit of a light relief after this one, because this one's dead, really nice and fun. Hi Jane, hope you're keeping well. Hope you're doing well. Go. Remember, at any point you'd like to, feel free to ask questions as we go along. It's one of the best ways to learn, is to ask questions. This next song is a classic, Common People by Pulp, and you can probably tell from the songs that I choose when I do. I was going to say more modern, but this is like, gosh, this is like 30 years ago now, something like that, isn't it? Isn't that just absolutely terrifying? But my favourite stuff tends to come from the kind of early to late 90s, I guess. Well, just the 1990s. And this one's a classic. There's loads of stuff going on in this song. It's quite complex. And I think it's one of Jarvis Cocker's best. It's very witty, and just an amazing song, basically. But the chords are really simple. The verses are just C, which is your 1 chord, right? And F, which is your 4 chord. Now remember, Esther, who neatened up my sheets for me and gave designed these really lovely chord boxes and everything, she's put a little arrow there to as a reminder that 4 is your change chord. And the reason we've put that one there is because notice that we changed to the 4 chord at the start of the chorus. So the verses are just the home chord and the change chord. We're doing this in the key of C. So C is 1, D, E, F is 4, right? So 1 and 4, C and F, both major chords. Really nice and simple. Now we're going to go back to straight 8s for this one, okay? I start by just strumming straight 8s with very light down strums. Oh, I need my, sorry guys, I need my lyric sheet and everything, so that I can see it. I'm still old-fashioned. I still print out my sheets. I know it's terrible, but I do recycle them. Look, I double-side them. I do recycle them. Okay, so we're going to do straight strumming for the verses, and the count is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, like that. Okay. Actually, slightly longer. Let's count differently. Give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Then we go to G. Really, is that simple? Back to C. I said it's the 4 chord, didn't I? It's the 5 chord. I'm being daft. Here comes the 5 chord. That creates the tension. Makes you want to go back again. That's it for the verse, okay? Notice that I'm just using my thumb to create a really mellow down strum, because this song builds and gets more and more kind of powerful as it goes. I'm also strumming a little bit harder on every other beat. Hear that? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. But again, I wouldn't sweat that. That'll take too long to explain in one short Kanikapila session. As long as you're just keeping that pace, you'll be absolutely fine. Let's try a verse, just because it's fun to practice one. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. She came from Greece, she had a thirst for knowledge. She studied sculpture at St. Martin's College. That's where I caught her eye. Back to the 1 chord. She told me that her dad was loaded. I said, in that case, I'll have a rum and Coca-Cola. She said, fine. And then in 30 seconds time, she said, now we go to the chorus. The change chord is the 4, no coincidence. We have a change at the start of a change. Going to the chorus, right? We hit that F. I wanna live like common people. I wanna do whatever common people. We want to come back home. Do sleep with common people. I wanna sleep like common people. Like, we need the tension of the 5 chord U. And then we go back to the 1. I'll see what I can do. So if at any point in the song you get lost and you're not sure what part we're on, if we're on a verse, we're on C to G, and just follow my fingers. If you see me changing from C to G, you know we're at that part, and you can just keep doing that. That's all you need to do. And a chorus part, again, even when we go to kind of the solo and all sorts of stuff, it's just F to C and then G to C. So basically, do something to C, and if it's not F, it'll be G. It really is that easy, I promise. It's really cool. Then I tend to build up, okay? So I tend to start striking with my nails after the first verse. Notice, Hive Twins, Esther. Notice that increases the tension and the volume because we get a bit more tinny kind of high pitch. Not high pitch, I guess higher timbre from our nails coming down, which creates the drama. And later on, when it gets really exciting and busy, I go to a full down up strum. You'll soon see, if you copy it along, you'll see how it kind of rises and lowers with the tension, okay? Now, this one has a really nice solo, and rather than, you can still just use a pentatonic to solo over this, but I've actually written out the solo. Well, I wrote it very scrappily, and Esther's tidied it up for me. And if you want to have a go at the solo, I'll say solo when it's coming, okay? It comes after quite a few verses and choruses. It just goes like this. Notice the tablature. It starts on the E string. In fact, the first bit's all in the E string. It just goes 3, 1 off, 1, 3, 3, 1 off, 1, 3. If you're into your notes, let me come a bit closer. That's going to be G, F, R. Sorry, let me do that again. G, F, E, E, F. Oh, sorry, guys. Let me. G, F, E, F, G, G, F, E, F, G. For some reason, when I say the notes, I hit the wrong ones. And then we've got 2 off, 3. So the 2 and the off are on the A string. That's B and A. B, A, G. And we do that again. B, A, G. It's that lovely guitar part. We do it again. Not too bad, right? And the rest of us are just going to be strumming. If you don't want solo, strumming a C. Do, 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 do. Yeah? Just going from C to G. And we do that twice round. And that's basically it. That's the entire song. But you'll see it gets kind of exciting and crazy and all sorts of fun stuff happening in the dynamics. Just follow it through with me, and when I'm hitting the chords harder, you hit them harder. When I'm hitting them quieter, you hit them quieter, and you'll soon get a feel for it. Okay, I'm going to start with C and G. And again, I can't say this enough. Notice the power of just these 3 chords. It's really cool. Okay, if you want to embellish these first chords with sus chords like we did in Spirit in the Sky, you can just add your finger off and on and off this F. So in Mark, the guitarist from Pulp, does this. Sorry, do that again. Just just if you want to add a little bit of dynamics. And Candida, the keyboardist, does a similar thing. Do, 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 do. So you can try that. If not, harness your inner Jarvis Cocker. Get ready. And we're going to strum this C. She came from Greece, she had a thirst for knowledge. She studied sculpture at St. Martin's College. That's where I caught her eye. She told me that her dad was loaded. I said, in that case, I'll have a rum Coca-Cola. She said, fine. And then in 30 seconds time, here comes the chorus. She said, I wanna live like common people. I wanna do whatever common people do. Wanna sleep with common people. I wanna sleep with common people like you. Oh, what else could I do? I said, I'll see what I can do. Here comes another verse. I took her to a supermarket. I don't know why, but I had to start it somewhere. So I started there. I said, pretend you've got no money. She just laughed and said, oh, you're so funny. I said, yeah. I can't see anyone else smiling in here. Are you sure you wanna live like common people? You wanna see whatever common people see. Wanna sleep with common people. You wanna sleep with common people like me. Well, she didn't understand. She just smiled and held my hand. Ran a flat above a shop. Cut your hair and get a job. Smoke some fags and play some pool. Pretend you never went to school. But still you'll never get it right. 'Cause when you're laying in bed at night, watching witches climb the wall. If you caught your dad, he could stop it all. You'll never live like common people. You'll never do whatever common people do. Never feel like common people. You'll never watch your life slide out of you. And dance and drink and scream because there's nothing else to do. Solo, take the solo. Sing. Ba, 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 ching. Ba, 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 sing. Ba, 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 da, da, ching. Really hit those cheeks now. Go on, get it. Sing along with the common people. Sing along and it might just get you through. Laugh along with the common people. Laugh along even though they're really laughing at you. And the stupid things that you do. Because you think the poor is cool. Bring it down now. Lying like a dog in a corner. They'll bite you and they'll never warn you. Look out. They'll tear you inside out. 'Cause everybody hates a tourist, especially one who thinks it's with chip stains and grease will come out in the bath. Oh, you'll never understand how it feels to live your life with no real control and with nowhere left to go. You're amazed that they exist, and it burns so bright whilst you can only wonder why. Red a fly above a shop, cut your hair and get a job, smoke some fags and play some pool, pretend you never went to school. Still you'll never get it right, 'cause when you're laying in bed at night, watching roaches climb the wall, if you called your dad, he could stop it all. One more! Never live like common people, never do what common people do, never feel like common people, never watch your life slide out of you, and dance and drink and screw, because there's nothing left to do. Now just stay on the scene. I wanna live with common people like you. Wanna live with common people like you. Wanna live with common people like you. Still sing. Live with common people like you. Wanna live with common people like you. La la you. Common people like you. Whoa, that was a bit of a hard one, wasn't it, in terms of the singing and everything? But I enjoyed that. I hope you guys did. And if you've never heard that before, what a great song. I mean, honestly. I know it's a bit of a weird one to sing songs like this, considering everything that's happened this week. But like someone said in that review I mentioned earlier, it's violently British, and you know, that's part of British culture, isn't it? And I think it's just an incredible song. As someone who went to university in an ex-poly, I went to university in Bristol, and all my clever friends went to Bristol Uni, and I went to the poly instead. And that might sound completely out of the blue, that song, but actually it does happen. And it happened to Jarvis Cocker. It happened to me, only they didn't want to do the sleeping with bit, you'd be glad to know. So they only wanted to do the playing pool bit, so that was absolutely fine. But what an epic song, made from 3 chords, 2 chords in that verse, just C and G. And then the choruses with that change chord, and that's it. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? You don't need like loads and loads of intense, unusual chords to make something beautiful. You know, I love jazz music. I love all those beautiful major 7th chords and minor 7 flat 5s and stuff. But you don't need them for a really good pop song. You can have great fun without them. So yeah. Oh, hi Paul. Hope you're doing well. Oh, your photo is the ukulele. That is so cool. Brilliant. Oh, thanks, Esther. That one's a bit out of my range, so you can probably tell I'm looking a little bit bright red at the moment. Anyway, let's bring us back to something a bit more safe and a bit more gentle. Let's have a look at Bad Moon Rising next then. So, where are we? Here we are. Doopy doopy doo. Nope, that's the chords to Common People. Here we go. Now this one, Esther, who made these amazing sheets, accidentally on purpose put some different chords in this chorus just to test me. I know you, Esther. So the chorus ones, if you've got a pen handy, we're going to make a slight change. If you have my old-fashioned version with my scribble ones, it depends on when you downloaded these, which looks like this. This one's got the chords that we need in the chorus. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold this up, and I'll do it for 2 reasons. if you've got a pen handy, you can scribble these chords in. So it's the ones on this sheet that we want. So the 4 and then to the 1 on the third measure, and then we've got 5, 4, 1 going on there. And the verses are perfect, okay? There's no change in that. It's just these chords in the chorus. So we're going to start it with 4. I'll go over these in more detail again anyway. But the 1 is the third one over. And then notice down the bottom, this is a really common progression. I'll talk you through it in a minute. 5, 4, 1. It's a really common thing to happen. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the verses first. Now I've broken my own rule here as well, and I've got a strum pattern at the top. I normally don't like strum patterns because people tense up. It's like, are you on an up or a down? And you noticed in that last song, even when I was really hammering it, right, and really going for it, I was still really just strumming downs with the odd up just here for a little bit of colour. So you don't have to overcomplicate things. You can get a lot of emotion across with some very simple strums. But this is just a fun thing to try. So I'll teach it to you in a minute. But notice the verses here. We have a really quick chord change in the second measure. The first one's relatively straightforward. Oh, by the way, I'd like to do this one in the key of G again, if that's all right with everyone. So just as a reminder, G is going to be the 1 chord. C is going to be the 4 chord and D the 5 chord, because if we just count the alphabet, G, A, B, C is 4 and D is 5, okay? That works really well for this one. It's a nice one to sing in the key of G. I'll give my voice a rest after that last one, okay? So that means we'll have G for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this quick change, the 5 chord to the 4 chord, and then we do another G at the end. And that's one of the most common chord progressions. The 5 makes you want to go back to 1, but to make it go around the houses and make it a bit more interesting, we have the 4 in between. So there's 5, 4, 1. That should feel really familiar. Tension, change, resolution. Tension, change, resolution. Now let's just practice that slowly without any kind of strum pattern. That means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, D and C and G. Then we do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, D and C and G. Another measure of G. I forgot the first time. We go again. G, 2, 3, 4, D and C and G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. G, 2, 3, 4, D and C and G. Now, if you want, it would be totally fine if you just wanted to strum that way the whole way through. That's totally cool, and that will work really well. Let me just show you how it works with the words. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see a bad moon arising. Then we do it again. I see trouble on the way. Once more. I see the earthquakes arising. I see bad times today. Okay. Now the strum pattern that I'm suggesting for this is, it's often called the calypso strum. So we're going to do it 1, 2, and then we're going to hit an and 4 and. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Now in slow motion, the way I count that is 1, 2, both as down strums, and then I count a little pause strum. I still actually strum to keep that in a metronome going, and then I do an up, down, up at the end. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. That's what I play on the G and most of the chords in this piece. On the awkward bit, the D to the C, I just do down strums. Kind of totally, if you just want to swing strum it, that'll work as well with my pattern over the top. Okay, you could keep that going, or as I say, just keep it to the simple down strum. Let's try a verse, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. I see the bell. Sorry guys, brain fart. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see the bad moon rising. Just keep it going around like that. We go again. I see a trouble on the way. We do that again. I see the earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Okay, now this is where the chorus is going to be. We've got the corrections, right? It's totally cool, don't worry. I was saying to Esther, I do, if I gave myself a slap on the hand every time I wrote something out wrong, I'd be slapping myself several times a day. So we start the chorus with a C chord now. It's going to be the 4 chord. Don't go out tonight. Back to the 1 chord. It's bound to take your life. Just wanted to point out something on this second line, that it's going to be 5, 4, 1. That's that kind of progression again, isn't it? D, C, and G. Only instead of doing the quick, they're for a whole measure each. Whoops, sorry. C, and G. And then we just stay on that G. I'll try a whole one of those choruses, so you can try it with me. So we're going to start with the 4 chord, which is C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't go round tonight. Then G. It's bound to take your life. D, C, G. There's a bad moon on the rise. Let's do that again. Don't go out tonight. It's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Now here in a nutshell, herein lies what I'm trying to teach you with all these Kanikapila sessions, okay? The only reason I've called them Kanikapila, obviously in Hawaiian it's a strum with friends and family that would sit around and sing quite possibly kind of natural Hawaiian songs. And I've been to a couple of beautiful ones, things like Eku, Morning Dew and Hialawe and stuff like that. But what I wanted to do is capture the feel for it, and I saw a really lovely interview with Leg Katapana, who's an amazing slap key guitar player who I absolutely love. And he always talks so lovingly about those kind of Kanikapila sessions, how things weren't written down. If you wanted to learn to play, you had to copy what people were doing and then learn to play by heart. And the best way you can do that is to recognise chord progressions and then just keep repeating them. So just think that verse is always going to be 1, 5, 4, 1. Or if you prefer to think in chord names, G, D, C, G. And then the chorus, we have change, that's 4. We have home, that's 1, that's G. And then we've got that 5, 4, 1. D, C, G. So, I beg you, if you're feeling brave, go on, see if you can do this without the sheet. See if you can do it. We're going to keep the same pentatonic scale for this one that we did in the last song we did in the key of G. So let's just go over that one more time just to make sure you're comfortable with it. And what I'm going to do for that this solo is I'm just going to play the chords from the verses and you can practice soloing over and over. So remember, my favourite was the E minor pentatonic, and that's starting from the C string. The reason we tend to start these from the C string is that unless you've got a low G, C is the lowest note on your ukulele, so it keeps everything in the right order. So we're going to go 4 up to 7. Whoops, so 4 up to 7. And then I'm going to go 5 to 7. And 5 to 7. I've got to learn to look at my fingers and not the screen. The reason my fingers sometimes go in the wrong place is on my screen everything's back to front. Hopefully it isn't for you, but it is on mine. So sometimes my fingers look as if they're going in the wrong direction. It freaks me out. So look at my fingers, Matt. It's going to be 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. And remember, you don't have to play it in that order. I quite like what B.B. King used to call the blues rectangle, which is the 5, 7, 5, 7. There's quite a lot you can do with that. I haven't got my backing track today. Normally I play this to a backing track so I could show you how I could work on a solo, but it was out of battery, I'm afraid, so I haven't got that. But just now, remember when we have done it for backing track, that less is often more. Something like that. Just keep it really dead simple. And then when you're feeling a bit more confident, you can go to that 4 and 7. And a little tip, remember, any notes that you play on a scale on the ukulele, on the C string, you can play the same frets on the G string. So if you want to extend it out, you can also do 4, 7 on the G string. How cool is that? Okay, and then we've got our box again. Okay, so I've also left that G pentatonic one up there as well. So we'll put that one. You can have a go with that when we get to the solo if you like. Let's put this really big. Okay, I'm just going to hang on for a minute or so just before I do the next one, just to check how you're all doing. Just give me a thumbs up or let me know that how you got on with, maybe even with Common People, because that was just a bit of a mad song, wasn't it? I went for it. I hope you enjoyed it, and it was quite nice to try something different. Okay, so keep those comments coming in. I can check them as we're singing this one as well. Just want to know that I haven't gone too crazy for you tonight and you're still enjoying yourselves. Okay, back to Bad Moon Rising then. Okay, so we're literally just going to go verse and chorus. We're just going to go round and round. No nasty surprises like there was in Spirit in the Sky. This is just verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, and we'll do a couple of verses instrumental as well. Okay, let's give it a try then. So let's do a verse a few times just to get everyone warmed up. So I'll just head off after 4. You join in when you feel comfortable. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep that going. I see a bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see those It's a really sweet song, that, isn't it? Very simple. The reason I really chose that one is to really give you that feel of the 5 to the 4 to the 1. Because if you can get a feel for that, if you can start to kind of understand when that's happening, eventually you'll be able to hear it in songs. Sometimes you might even be listening to the radio and you can hear that da, da, da. You think, I know that. And that's how you can start to play with others instinctively, is when you can start to hear these chord combinations and you can work them out. Just before we do the final song, I want to do something a bit crazy now. We're going to do that song again, one more time. I won't play it twice through like we did then. We'll just do it once through. Let's see if we can do it in the key of C now. Okay. So different key, but we're going to use the same principles. So C is going to be our 1 chord. F is going to be our 4 chord, which is our change chord. And G is going to be our 5 chord. And hopefully you'll still hear that. So you still hear that 5, 4, 1. But this time we're in a different key, right? So that means that the verses then are going to be, the home chord to start off with is going to be C. Then we're going to do 5, 4, 1, G, F, C. Can you start to hear it now? 5, 4, 1. Yeah? Home, 5, 4, 1. Join in. Try with C. C, G, F, C. Home, 5, 4, 1. Now remember, the choruses, we quite often start with a change chord, and we're going to do it. We're going to do the 4 chord now. It's going to be F, back to the 1 chord, and then you've got it, 5, 4, 1. So the chorus is F, don't go round. Oh, I'm going to have to sing a bit lower, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't go round tonight, C, it's bound to change your life. G, there's F, a bad mood on the rise. Yeah, let's do it. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. If you want to try play along with a bit of pentatonic noodling, you could do the A minor pentatonic or the C major. But for now, just get a feel of those chords. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, G, F, C. C, G, F, C. Really feel that. Couple more times. Home, 5, 4, 1. Home, tension, delay, home. Here we go. I see a bad moon arising. I see a trouble on the way. I see the earthquakes and lightning. I see well bad times today. Chorus is F. Don't go round tonight. C, it's bound to change your life. 5, 4, 1. There's a bad moon on the rise. Well done, everyone. I hear a hurricanes are blowing. I know the end is coming soon. I feel the rivers overflowing. I hear a voice of rage and ruin. F, don't go round tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Let's bring it down. I hope you got your things together. I hope you're quite prepared to die. Looks like we're in for nasty weather. One eye is taken for an eye. Here's our F. Don't go round tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. And again, don't go round revise the lesson, right? If you wanted to sing a song in a different key, I mean, that was actually too low for me, isn't it? G was just right, interestingly enough. If you want to change the key, rather than having to transpose, that's what we call the name for changing keys, rather than having to take each note and then count back a load of notes to try and work out what a similar one would be, that's way too hard. If you can know your 1, 4, 5s in different keys, C, F, G, G, C, D, maybe even F, B flat, C. We'll come back to that another time. You could play these songs in all sorts of keys, and that's why these numbers work. And I mentioned it before, I know to my regulars, but they're called Nashville numbers because back at the Grand Ole Opry, when you used to get bands going and playing, they'd be scratch bands. So a lot of those musicians had never played before. But a lot of old country and old time music were 1, 4, 5 songs or just a few other chords. And it meant that if the musicians knew those progressions in different keys, they could just start playing straight away. And that's the beauty of it. And if we go back to Hawaii, it's no coincidence that a lot of Hawaiian songs are 1, 5, 4. And that's no coincidence. That's because that was an easy chord combination to remember for them, so people could start jamming along. But also it's one of the most important kind of musical movements in the whole of music because we have the tension of the 5 chord and we have the change of the 4, and that's all that's needed. So a lot of this, you've probably heard a lot of that in Hawaiian music, haven't you? That's just going from the 5 chord, G7, to the C chord, and then eventually you have the 4 chord as well. So yeah, really interesting how these chord progressions, if you can learn them, you can play all sorts of songs off by heart, which is really, really great. We've got one more example. Now this is a little bit of a left field one again, but I've done this on purpose. It's not so I get to sing some of my favourite songs. It's because, maybe a little bit, it's because it challenges you to really learn the progressions rather than just instinctively knowing it because you know the song. So this is a beautiful song by a band called Bell and Sebastian, who probably my favourite band of all time. Scottish band, started in the mid-90s, still going now. In fact, my daughter Sandy is a massive fan of them, and we're going to see them in Cardiff in November. She's really excited. She's 9 and it's her first ever gig, so it's brilliant. We sent a photo of her reading the lyrics in the car on the way to the football a few months ago, and Stuart, the lead singer and songwriter, tweeted back saying, "Come on, you Robins," and she was so chuffed. So really lovely kind of Scottish indie band. This is a really beautiful melancholic song called "You Made Me Forget My Dreams," and I thought we could have a look at perhaps doing a picking pattern with this, but just something really simple. Just before we do it, again, just let me know how you're getting on, guys, because I always realise, obviously, when we're singing and strumming, you don't get to ask any questions or let me know how you're getting on if you're struggling or doing well. So don't worry, Indrani, that's pretty mad common people, wasn't it? But good to keep you on your toes, though, isn't it? So, yeah, fab. Bad Moon Rising's another classic, isn't it? So that's great, yeah. The hammer-on, oh, that's all right. The hammer-on's a tricky one to get, Esther. So if you remind me in our next lesson, I'll take you back and we'll go through it in a bit more detail. So we'll look into it there. So this one, if you have a look at it, it's quite an unusual structure, but it's actually relatively simple when you get into it. We're just going to strum very gentle straight 8s in this until I teach you the picking pattern. Now we know that we'll do this in the key of C because that's what we finished the last one in. It just makes sense, I think. So the 1 chord in C is C, right? Now, again, if I keep saying these things and repeating them, you're allowed to tell me off, but I really want to hammer home the feel of these chords because that's how you can start playing off by heart. And notice that the 4 chord in this one, its main sole purpose is a little bit of change, because otherwise the verse would just be the 1 chord. Just provides a little bit of change before going back to the 1. So we have C, quite drawn out, then F, do that again. Just keep those straight 8s coming. We have 4 is F, back to 1. We have another 1 of 1, if that makes sense. Now, guess what's going to happen? 5, drawn out, but 4, 1. That's 5, 4, 1 again, right? It's just going to come up time and time again in music, okay? And then at the end, we just go back to 4, 1, and 4. Let's try one verse just on its own so you can hear how this song goes. And then I'll show you a really pretty picking pattern which goes beautifully with this one. So, and we're just going to keep it simple, nothing too fancy at all. So, yeah, cool. Oh, thanks, Andy. Andy's chilling. Love it. Thanks, guys. You're brilliant. Okay. This is a really melancholic song. I can't believe that last one. I sometimes think I might. Do you think maybe I've got a career ahead of me in fortune telling? That's so weird, that Bad Moon Arising. It's just weird. And Common People. It's just all the songs just so prophetic and strange. Life's weird, isn't it, sometimes? Okay, sorry, I'm rambling. Just strum a C to join me. You made me forget my dreams when I woke up to we have peace for the nights at least, but the troubles start today. This morning you'll say, I'll see you sometime, maybe, and I'll fall back to uneasy sleep. One more. You made me forget my dreams. I was building a space rocket with the boy who plays bass guitar, with the boy who's wearing flares. He didn't care. He lit the fuse and ran for a mile. The space rocket went up in style. Isn't that lovely? Just so melancholic and beautiful. I'll show you the picking pattern and then we'll have a go at it. It's really lovely, isn't it? Just my all-time favourite band. The lead singers, you could read his lyrics like poetry. They're just really, really beautiful. And they do some like really upbeat stuff as well. They're very twee. When we went to the first gig, it was like, I think it was 1995 or 1996, and I took my older brother with me, and I was quite twee back then. That was like my college days, so I used to wear like a hair clip in my hair and all sorts, you know. And he was kind of like, "What is this? Everyone's wearing cardigans and flares. Like, what is this place?" But even he was just swept along in the magic of it all. It's just really beautiful. And Ben and Sebastian are one of the rare bands that actually get told to turn up rather than turn down because they play so quietly. Let's have a look at a picking pattern that we could do to this. There's loads, isn't there? Because we're doing 4/4 time and we're doing straight 8s. That means it's a relatively simple thing to do. The reason I say that is because we've got 4 strings on our ukulele, and in common time 4 beats. So the easiest thing that we could do would be to go Pima style. That means to take your thumb. Let me just move this out of the way a sec. Move your thumb. Hi Carl, by the way. Move your thumb. I tend to do this. Let me move across a little bit lower down than I would normally do for strumming because it just stops my fingers getting caught up in the soundboard. And the easiest picking pattern would just be to hit the G string with your thumb, index, middle, ring, index, middle, ring. And if you keep that going round and round from top to bottom, it's like 4, 3, 2, 1. You made me forget my dreams when I woke up to you sleeping. Isn't that pretty? Really gentle. So again, sometimes the simple things are the most beautiful. Another one that I'll quite often do is I'll sometimes play inside outside. So we start with the middle 2 strings, which are the lowest in tuning, and then we come to the outside 2. This one's quite nice because you start with the lowest note and end with the highest note each time. Notice that when I do this one, just because it's easier to remember, I'm cycling using my thumb and forefinger. There we go. Indrani, I'm really intrigued. So Indrani's saying I hear a certain Scottish influence tune in there. Let me know what it is, because that is probably 100% true, because they're from Scotland. Most of them are from Glasgow. So yeah, it's a cool part of the world. I love it. One of my favourite things I ever did was I went to see a concert in Glasgow, and then a bit spontaneously, me and my best friend at the time took a road trip all the way from Glasgow up through Rannoch Moor and up and over to Loch Ness eventually, which was great. Again, my goodness, prophetic Balmoral, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get all emotional and strange. Okay, so let's try that then. So we could do a verse. Just keep that going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably start with that pick pattern, then go to straight 8s to kind of build up a little bit of tension. But you do whichever you want. Just really enjoy this and kind of just, it's like a nice mellow way to play us out. Okay, here we go. Let's try it from top to bottom then. It's the same thing over and over. There's no verse chorus. Just keep playing those notes. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Keep that C going just to get us going. You made me forget my dreams when I woke up to you sleeping. We have peace for the night at least, but the troubles start today. This morning you'll say, is a 5-4-1. I'll see you sometime maybe, and I'll fall back to uneasy sleep. And we have another verse. Here we go. You made me forget my dreams. I was building a space rocket with the boy who plays bass guitar, with the boy who's wearing flares. He didn't care. He lit the fuse and ran for a mile. The space rocket went up in style. I'll lend you 200 quid for a flight across the ocean. Maybe things will look better then, 'cause they couldn't see much worse than tears and a curse. For men with guns maturing in age will always pay a shitty wage. Will There was blood on the sheets again, and the view outside your window of gardens in bloom, obscured by all the trouble we had. I think I better make a move. C F again. I think I better make a move. I think I better make a move. I think I better make a move. Notice rented on the 4 chord. Well done, everyone. Quite different again. It's a bit esoteric and a little bit out there, so don't worry if you didn't enjoy that. I won't be offended, but it gave me my little moment of twee with my favourite band to share you all. So yeah, if you like that, really check out their stuff. They had we've kind of pretty much come to the end, so if anyone's got any questions, please ask, and whilst you're coming up with questions or telling me how you found tonight, I'll give you just a little bit of rambling story like I always do. Yeah, when I first got that, I think it was the year before my first year of university, and it was kind of like, I guess CDs were kind of most kind of common, but there wasn't downloading, so you couldn't kind of download this music from anywhere. And I had their second album, which is really beautiful, called If You're Feeling Sinister. And the only way that you could get their first album, because it was in a limited pressing of 100 copies of vinyl, was either to pay a fortune for one, you're talking like 600-700 quid, or you had to beg people who had a copy of the vinyl. And I made really good internet friends. Internet was just coming in there. I made a really good internet friend with someone from Canada, and she sent me a tape of their first album. And oh my gosh, I must have played that tape so much that I could I knew when the crackly bits were going to come up and how it was going to get worse over time, you know. But that made it even more precious. So whenever I hear Tiger Milk, their first album, it's not the same to me unless I hear that specific tape, because I want to hear all those little crackles and everything. So there we go. They also had a song, I've got a cool link to them as well, because they also had a song called Seymour Stein, which was about a record executive who kind of came to England interested in signing them, but they were too twee and they didn't want to do it because it was too big of a record label. And I think it kind of caused some tension in the band, because on that record label were people like the Smiths, and Madonna was on it, you know. And anyway, I got to perform to this record executive, Seymour Stein, up at a music conference once, and it was just like so surreal. It's like, that's what Belle and Sebastian did, only they signed a record deal with someone else, whereas I didn't. I just released it myself. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the whole evening. Loads of 4-5-1 combinations, 5-4-1s even. Thanks again to Lorraine, thanks again to Lorraine. Thanks again to Lorraine for reminding me to thank Esther for making the brilliant sheet. So really appreciate it, Esther. They're really brilliant. I love all the little clips and everything on there, so that's brilliant. So just a wee reminder, if anyone wants to leave any tips after I've made them all sad and melancholy at the end there, probably the opposite, you might never want to do it again, my PayPal link is here. If you're interested in, I've put my website here because I realise I'm always saying it and then not displaying it, and obviously you have to know how to spell my surname and ukulele and everything, so there it is, mattsteadukulele.com. That's where you can find out about all the different videos and everything that I'm doing, and that's how you can find out about the retreat as well. Loads of you are really some of you from Facebook have already signed up to the retreat, so I think Esther, you're coming, aren't you? Well, I definitely know Esther's coming. and I think it might be a couple of others on here as well. I think Peter as well. So check it out if you get a chance. It's going to be really wonderful. An old country house used to belong to Charles the second, not Charles the Third, that we now have, used to belong to Charles the Second as a hunting lodge back in the day, but it's right in the middle of the forest. So we're going to do loads of fun stuff like ukulele walks. We're going to have ukulele meditation by the lake, all sorts of crazy fun stuff. So see if you can sign up for that. It tends to sell out by Christmas time. We tend to have sold out for the next year. So try and, if you are interested, try and see if you can get tickets over the course of the autumn. Would be brilliant. And just lastly, just really quickly, it's been a while, hasn't it? But I've got my next live lesson this Wednesday. So if you enjoyed the Kanikapila and you want a little bit more of the theory, this one's going to be, in fact, this one's going to be really heavy theory. We're going to go deep into chords. What are they? So like, why when we play a C, E and a G, we get a C major chord? But how come when we play a C, E and a G with a B in, we get a major 7? And what are major 7s? What's the difference between a major 7 and a dominant 7? All these things are going to be answered. So it's going to be quite dig deep into theory. We're going to do less playing, more just thinking and explaining. Keep your ukes handy, because we will do a little bit of kind of chords here and there, so you can see how these chord combinations work, but a load of theory. But once you've done that, it's going to really help with your knowledge, and it will really help your Kanikapila as well, because you'll understand the difference between those major and minor chords, and the major 7s and the dominant 7s. I know you can't all make every session. I know you're talking about the retreat over there and not this, but if you can't make any of these and you want to watch back, you can do so at any time, and the resources will always be available. And I archive them on my website, mattsteadukulele.com. Just go on live lessons, and there's tons out there. I worked out the other day, I think there's like over 200 lessons now, so there's quite a lot of material there to work through, and a lot of it is kind of graded and sequential, so it's not just kind of random stuff you can join. So yeah, it's gonna be brilliant. There we go. Thanks everyone. So yeah, just seeing what you're doing. Okay. Don't worry. Hope you have fun anyway. Hope you have fun. Cool. Oh, someone's made Esther blush now. Brilliant. Oh, crumbs. Yeah, this is why Esther's like my right hand man, or right hand woman. She's so good at these things. Next Monday, we are going to have a rest from Kanikapila. So I know I've joked about it, but you know, obviously it's a really sad and serious thing losing our Queen over here. So next Monday is the Queen's funeral, and it's also a bank holiday. So we're not going to be here for Kanikapila next week. I know it means another 2-week wait, but we will be back the week after. So generally it's every Monday, but we are going to be away next Monday. Perhaps Esther, I'll do a Facebook post to remind people about that, because yeah, people might not think, but yeah, it's a bank holiday over here, so I will be off for that one. But it did feel like a long time. I really missed you all, genuinely. I know that sounds really, really cheesy, but I know this is my job, but this is why I'm the luckiest person in the world. I love it, and I love these Kanikapilas, and I love chatting to you, and I love seeing you progress. It's just absolutely amazing. So I actually really, really miss Kanikapila when I'm not here. It's not like a time off for me. I'm kind of itching to get back on and do it again. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Sue. Yeah, definitely check out Belle and Sebastian. My favourite stuff's their kind of early-ish stuff. So there's a lovely album called If You're Feeling Sinister, which is really gorgeous. This was off one of their early EPs. It's an EP called Lazy Line Painter Jane, which is really cool. If you like that twee stuff, you might like some of my old band. If anyone's bored and they want to look later, have a look for A Fine Day for Sailing. That was my old band, A Fine Day for Sailing, and we do a lot of twee stuff like that. I was obviously influenced by the music that I love. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know, and I'm not massive. I'm not like a big royalist. I know a lot of people have issues with it and stuff, but I kind of feel like I grew up with the Queen. So she's the only monarch I've ever known. The only monarch my parents have ever known. You know, so it kind of feels like losing one of the extended family. It's really weird. And there's a really weird atmosphere at the moment. I was talking to a friend from Hawaii that's coming over to play. He's actually going to be in London this weekend when the funeral is. And I did warn him. It's like it's a really weird atmosphere at the moment, because obviously we've got the excitement of new king and everything, but you know, it's people are really in mourning, so it's going to be a really strange place to be, London, I think, in the next few days. So yeah, absolutely, end of an era. Yeah, definitely. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Esther. I missed it too. But wasn't it weird? Those song choices, genuinely. I'm not into fortune telling. I don't believe in any of that. But you know, but it's fine if you do. It's totally cool. But wasn't that weird? Those songs, Bad Moon Rising. I was singing that song and I felt really weird singing it. It's just strange, isn't it? But anyway. Right, I can tell I'm absolutely rambling and I'm probably boring people to death. So I'm going to head off now. So reminder, we're not here next week, but we're back 2 weeks after that. We are here this Wednesday afternoon if you can make it for the live lesson. And don't forget to check out my daily tips on YouTube as well. I think I've done everything I needed to do. I get told off if I forget things, you see. Take care, everyone. Send in all my love, and we'll see you soon.